11th fact that you didn't know about Jesus' crucifixion is his last words. Here recorded in Luke, it's said that his last words were, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." But other gospel accounts say that his last words were, my God, why have you forsaken me?" So what's the deal? What were his actual last words? And here's where the interesting fact comes in, or maybe it's something you never thought about before. None of the writers of the gospel books actually saw Jesus die. Think about it. 2 of the gospel books were written by people who were not Jesus' apostles. They were written by John Mark and Luke, who gathered evidence through interviewing people about the entire life of Jesus, including his death. So they wouldn't have been there when Jesus spoke his last words. And the other 2 gospel books were written by Jesus' apostles, Matthew and John. And they weren't there when Jesus died. They would have been busy trying to tear the veil in the temple. I'm joking. They weren't in the temple. But that was pretty funny. You have to admit that. As we said earlier, his apostles ran away with fear. So none of these writers would have actually been there to hear his last words. Most likely they would have gathered this information by interviewing people who were actually there. The most likely scenario here is that prior to Jesus dying, he simply prayed. He prayed to God the Father. And this is in alignment with what he did through his entire life, praying to God the Father. So certainly the gospel writers like Matthew or John or Luke would have interviewed people who were actually there. They would have heard this entire prayer. And they wrote down what the witness remembered. Either way, the gist of what Jesus' last words are essentially the same. He's saying, I've come here and I've accomplished what I've come to accomplish. Now I'm going home to you, God the Father. Pretty epic.